Hey guys, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl LaShia. Welcome to the 34th episode of Think Different TV. So excited! What's up, Super Cat 2525? Thank you for joining in. What's up, Vibe TV? Thank you for joining Think Different TV. What's up, Trevo? Thank you for joining Think Different TV. I know y'all was waiting. It's 9 o'clock on a Monday. You know how we gets down, okay? So yeah, y'all, I'm so excited because we have a lot of ground to cover, and this is going to be an amazing episode of Think Different TV. Listen, Think Different TV is here every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hosted by your girl LaShia, okay? And you could be anywhere, but you decide to be right here with me on a Monday night. So clap it up for yourself. I gotta see some of them clap emojis in the chat, all right? Listen, what's up, Smith Joshua Kelvin? Thank you for joining Think Different TV. Listen, guys, it has been an eventful weekend, and we're gonna get into all of that. But before we even do that, you know, Think Different TV could not be made possible without viewers like you. And, oh, y'all can't hear me? You can't hear me? What's going on? Can y'all hear me? Can people hear me? Can y'all hear me? Trevo, can you hear me? Can y'all hear me? All right, let's do something. Okay, you can. Okay, I'm like, can't hear me. How could you not hear me? I'm so daggone loud. What's up, Stackhouse TV? What's up, Mr. Stackhouse TV? Thank you for joining in to Think Different TV. I think someone is trolling me right now. So yeah, pretty much, listen. Like I said, Think Different TV could not be made possible without viewers like you and our sponsors. So let's give it up to the sponsors. Listen. Our sponsors are Anointed Ads. Anointed Ads is an award-winning graphic designer website company. All right. Over 14 years in the making. Over 100 websites created. What's up, D. Newman? What's up, JB? Thank you for joining Think Different TV. Over 100 websites created, including his own www.anointedads.com. You can also find Anointed Ads right here on IG, and you can find them on Facebook under Anointed Ads. That's ANOINTEDADS. Listen, he's amazing at what he does. He's created the flyer for Think Different TV. He's also created the website for Think Different TV. We're getting in the works, y'all. We're getting in the works. So I'm excited about it. All right. And he's also created the logo for my wonderful merch. So look at that. Hey, look. Think Different TV has merch. All right. You can find it at thinkdifferenttv.biz. But like I said, Anointed Ads is amazing. So when you're ready to get your flyer created for your event, you know, your website created for your business or whatever you need that involves a website or graphic design, he's got you. So go ahead and hit up, oh my gosh, I'm blanking right now. Hit up Phil at Anointed Ads. He is the CEO. I think I'm blanking because it's so freaking hot. And I'm like, I know y'all see me sweat. I feel like I'm having a hot flash like my mom. Like, what is going on? What is going on? Okay. That's much better. I'm going to turn it down a little bit, but I need some air, y'all. It is hot. Anyway, when y'all ready to get all that done, call Phil at 609-534-0237. Again, his number is 609-534-0237. He is ready to work with you guys. And when you mention Think Different TV, guess what? He will take 15% off of your first project. So that is good to know, right? So get that website created, get that flyer created, get all that stuff done. Why not? And then our other sponsor, a day one sponsor, love them, is Euphoria Water. Euphoria Water is the cleanest, healthiest water in Philly. Alkaline water with minerals, no additives, no chemicals. It's good and it's good for you. So if you're going to hydrate, make sure you hydrate the right way. Get your Euphoria Water today. All right? And I have mine right here. I always have my jug right here. And it's nice and cold. ready for consumption. All right, and then I have it in my Think Different TV stainless steel travel mug, right? And it keeps it nice and cold for me the whole show, so I ain't gotta worry about getting warm or nothing like that. And I'm gonna take a sip on that note. All right. Ooh, ooh. So when you're ready to get you some Euphoria water, make sure you hit them up right here on IG at Euphoria Water. That's UPHORIAWATER. All right. And if you live in the Philadelphia area and you want Euphoria water delivered to your home, all you have to do is call Captain at 267-707-8279. All right? Y'all got it? We good? All right. Those are our sponsors for Think Different TV. Listen, y'all. It is going to be amazing tonight because we have a crazy topic. We got some hidden and quitters that's going to blow your mind. But our topic tonight, I already had some responses on the post. I'm going to read those responses, but I have to know where everybody stands on these subjects, okay? And we have an amazing independent artist spotlight on, and listen, when I say independent artist spotlight, that is any type of art, y'all. I'm not talking about singing and rapping. I'm talking about like if you dance, if you are an artist, like you paint and stuff like that, draw, if you are a filmmaker, listen, you are getting spotlighted on my show. I do not just say, oh, because I'm a singer, I just want singers, or because I'm, I know a lot of rappers, I want just rappers. Like, it's not even that type of party. Like, I want to spotlight you. So if you or you know someone who is an amazing artist, they're really into their art and they're like, we had Chris Bentley Official who just joined in. Chris Bentley Official, he's a drummer out of New Orleans. Like, I had him on here, we was chopping it up, I had a producer on here by the name of, I'm blanking right now. Why is this happening to me? Juan Marco. And we had such a dope conversation. I was like, dude, you gotta be part of my independent artist panel. All right. So listen, let me bring this air a little bit closer to me. I don't know what's going on, y'all. I'm really going through I'm trying to think. Does it happen around this age? Oh no, honey. We gotta get something done about that. I gotta get on my workout type thing. I can't be having hot flashes, honey. So listen, like I said, we got some crazy hit it and quit it. We're gonna get into it. You know how we do right here on Think Different TV. That is every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, hosted by your girl LaShia right here on IG. All right. So here we are. We're gonna go right in here and we're gonna look up the hit it and quit it. The hit it and quit it are just trending topics, trending topics that are happening in the news right now, be it political, celebrity related, music related, just so my newbies that are coming in, because I see there's a lot of new viewers, so shout out to the new viewers, and I know there's some day ones on here. What's up to y'all too? The newbies, I gotta let them know what's going on. So Think Different TV, we started off with the hit it and quit it, just so y'all can get acclimated and kind of know how we do trending topics. Okay, what's up, Molly Ms. All right. So here we go. Let me see. Okay. So here we are. And before I even start, I want to shout out Trevo LaFave, all right? Because he has been an amazing creative director / executive director / my right-hand man / like, he keep me on point, y'all, all right? And before I even continue this, I'm going to make you the moderator, honey, so that you can put people in their place that's not, when they acting crazy in my live. You get what I'm saying? Like, we can't have no crazy people in our live, right? So I'm not inviting you to join. What I need to do is, this is what I need to do. Let's add you as a moderator. All right. So when you see somebody getting crazy, we don't roll like that. Positive vibes all up in our space, okay? We don't have none of that negativity going on. What's up, Black Phoenix? We don't have none of that negativity in our space. So listen, Trevo, if they acting crazy, you know what to do, all right? So, but I will preface it with this. Like, we're not going to kick you out if you have a difference of opinion or anything like that. We're not gonna do none of that. We're gonna just kick you out if you're being disrespectful and rude. That's different than having a difference of opinion on our topic and everything like that, okay? Molly, you crazy. All right. So here we go. We're going to jump into these hot topics. So, music. Y'all, can y'all believe there is a new virtual robot rapper called FN Mika? All right. He becomes the first AI artist signed to a major record label, Capitol Records. How do y'all feel about that? Like, come on now. Like, I know AI technology is all the rage right now, but you think we ready for an AI rapper? That's like cheating, ain't it? Like, you just program it to do whatever you want. You do backflips, do all this crazy stuff on the stage. Like, you know, like, are we ready for that? An AI rapper? Like, who is really going to be buying his like? And he has a crazy resemblance to Extension. I'm just saying, look a little bit like Extension. Oh, y'all gotta look at that. I don't know. It's getting crazy out here. So look at the signs. Look at the signs. AI technology, rappers, and all that stuff. Like, that's a little crazy. Rapper NLE Choppa said, licking armpits should be normalized. Now, listen, somebody trolling me, because you ain't going to put that in my notes. Because when I saw that, I was like, what is going on? Licking armpits should be normalized? Why? You did that on purpose, Trevo. You're fired. It's like, no, I can't do the show without you. Don't leave me. And then we have rapper Erica Banks videos surfaced of her twerking for high school boys, and the internet let her hear it in the comments. Listen, Erica Banks twerking for high school boys. First of all, high school boys, their hormones are all every which way, and I don't think we really need no rapper chick twerking in front of the boys. They gonna find it anyway. Whether she doing it in front of them or she doing it on the internet, they gonna find it. So I don't know. As long as she ain't sleeping with one of the high school boys, I'm good. You know, like, I get it. We don't want but kids are gonna find what they want to find. Like, you get what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, what else do we have here? Because, Trevo, you be messing me up. Oh, P. Diddy. He was talking to Timbaland. He was telling him, listen, R&B is dead. R&B is no longer a thing. Like this, he can't get with the R&B of today. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of people was asking, like, is he saying that the R&B is, you know, R&B. Oh, JB, you said honestly that was not the place I feel. You mean about Erica Banks twerking for high school boys? Yeah, I get it. Like, she shouldn't have did that, but I mean, they can blast her all they want, but I really think, like, if it's not going beyond that, and because they're gonna see it anyway. You got moms twerking on TikTok. You got, like, all these different people just twerking and doing different stuff on TikTok to get clout, so they gonna see it regardless. Was she twerking on them? I ain't see the video. Was she twerking on them, or was she just twerking in front of them? If she twerking on them, then yeah, there's a problem. But if she just twerking in front of them, like, how's that any different from anybody else twerking in front of, you know, anybody? I don't know. I think when it comes to that aspect, it's a little bit, you know, I'm a mom. I have a son. He's 6, you know, but I don't see, twerking is just dancing to me. It's not like it's not like real serious for me. But moving on, because I want to get to all these critics because he wrote it's a lot here. All right. But yeah, how do y'all feel about what P. Diddy said about R&B being dead? He said, you know, but people was asking, like, do you think R&B is dead, period, or you think that R&B of your day is dead? And that's an interesting question because there's so many artists out right now, you know, just to name a few: Her, SZA, Jasmine Sullivan, who else? It's a lot of new people that's out right now. The guy that sings it's over, that song Over, the one where he did the remix of what is it, Music Soul Child song. You know, those artists, like, they dope. Okay, I'm sorry I don't know all their names because there's a lot of them, and to be honest, I do need to catch up and listen to some artists of today. But I do listen to SZA, I listen to Her, I listen to, you know, female artists. I'm listening to male artists, but like I just hear it in passing, but I don't really, like, you know, like say, ooh, who was there? Let me get their name. Like, I just listen to music now. What's up, King Primetime of Prime Nostalgia Podcast? There was some comments about the R&B. Trevo said maybe he didn't mean the R&B of his time. Stackhouse TV, Mr. Stackhouse TV said R&B isn't dead, just underfunded and underexposed. Lucky Day, that's his name, Lucky Day. He is cool. I like him. He's really dope. Let me see. I got a question in here. I'm sorry, honey. I wish I did speak French. I know a few phrases in French, but I can't say them on the show. So, what's up, Smallville? Thank you for joining. Think Different TV. So yeah, I like a lot of these new artists, but to be perfectly honest, do I sit up there and like hunt them down and listen? I'm just listening to music just to listen to music right now. I'm not back in the day, and I know what he kind of means. What's up, Yana Medical LLC? Thank you for joining into Think Different TV. I know back in the day, they was like, it was artists that how can I say, that struck me right here in the heart, and I had to find out who they was. You get what I'm saying? But now it's just like, the music's okay, but it's not something that I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta go get the album. You get what I'm saying? And that's sad. But I mean, I'm gonna let the next generation have their music like I had my music, like my mom and dad had their music. Like, it is what it is at this point. I love Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. I guess they're considered R&B, you know. So just to keep it moving, we're going to explore that topic a little bit more next week during the Independent Artist Panel. So make sure y'all tune in next week for the Independent Artist Panel, because there's going to be some questions asked at the panel. We're going to be answering questions, and it's all artists that's on the panel, you know, to answer these questions about the music industry and everything like that. So we're going to explore more about that. Listen, Young Thug's attempt at getting bond was rejected by the Fulton County Judge Earl Glanville. Rapper Asian the Brat, or do you mean the Brat? I don't know. Involved in a chain snatching situation gone wrong. Kalani entices, I don't know if she was enticing the security guard. I just think that she was just very sensual on the stage, and he got distracted. All right. You know, but he was trying hard to do his job and maintain his composure. But you know, Kalani is smoking hot, all right? It's hard, all right? I was like, okay, girl, do your thing. I ain't mad at you. You know, sex sells, especially in the industry, and that's how a lot of female artists stay afloat. So do what you gotta do, honey. Let's see. ATL rapper in the middle of King Von murder gets shot in LA. His friend was shot and killed. Very sad news. Reported by sources. Of course, it's in LA. But shout out to Slauson Girl, because she also posts a lot of news that happens out in LA, and she did post about this situation that happened over in LA, where someone who was very much involved with the King Von murder, you know, got shot, but his friend got killed. So it's crazy, all right? Violence begets violence. You know, and do we really want to continue that circle of violence? That was a line that was in the film that we're going to talk about today. But I have to move on because I'm getting ahead of myself. Celebrity news. Gary Busey. Y'all might remember him from, oh my gosh, I want to say 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy, because that's what I remember him from. He was charged with counts of sex crimes. I think it was like 6 counts of sex crimes. Orlando Brown. More videos have surfaced about him. Y'all, he talked about he got some fellatio from Diddy. By this point, we kind of know how Diddy get down. All right? Is it so far-fetched? No. But then that's how the industry is anyway. That part of the industry. I'm not saying the whole industry. I'm sure there's amazing people in the industry that aren't that way. But listen, they gets down, all right? And you either get down or get out. And a lot of people are for the getting down part. So listen, that is their choice. Let me see. Mattel is suing Nicki Minaj over her barbecue flavored chips. And this is something that I have like mixed feelings about, because I get why Mattel is like running them coins. You get what I'm saying? Because what's up, Young? I am Young P. Thank you, Young without the O. Thank you for joining in to Think Different TV. He has a new song, Make a Wish. Make sure you go check that out. Yeah, Nicki Minaj getting sued over the barbecue flavored chips, and as a miscommunication between her and her team. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure that you are in communication with your team to know, like, all right, we're about to do this project. She definitely did a photo shoot for it. I would be asking questions like, did she, did y'all do the background on this? Can I use the name Barbie on the barbecue chips? Like, am I going to get sued? Because Barbie has been around for forever. And Mattel owns Barbie. And you can't just go around willy-nilly just using Barbie. Just like Mickey Mouse, not everybody can just use Mickey Mouse on their stuff. Like, Disney is not having it. They will sue you in a hot minute. Y'all got to be very careful. And but my thing is, branding is very important. And, you know, this is bad business being done. I'm sure they are settling out of court. You know, Mattel's like, you know, listen, we can settle and everything like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if we flipped them around and, you know, we started having Barbies in Nicki Minaj's likeness. I think that's a fair trade-off. I think she gets to use Barbie and the barbecue flavored chips. Mattel's definitely going to make some money having a Nicki Minaj doll, because, you know, all the Barbs are going to go out and buy a Nicki Minaj doll. All right? I don't see them saying, oh, well, I don't play with dolls. Stuff like that. People buy stuff as collector items, and when someone is a major fan of an artist, they're going to get everything in that artist's likeness. Like, I know there's Michael Jackson fans out there Mattel definitely created a doll in Michael Jackson's likeness, and you think that doll didn't fly off the shelf? What? So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a doll done in her likeness. I think this is a fair trade-off, more than a fair trade-off. They get to use her likeness. She makes money on the back end. Everybody's happy. Let's come to agreement that way, right? Let's see. R. Kelly, more developments in the case. His goddaughter came forth and said, me and him been bumping and grinding before I was 18. Listen, at this point in time, everybody's just gonna be coming out of the woodworks. Listen, ain't no money in it no more. You done did it. Are you traumatized? Yeah, maybe you need to go to therapy for it. Like, at this point, just coming out and just saying, we did this and we did that, and da, da, da. He's already in jail for 30 years. Like, let it go. I'm not saying, let's clear this up. I'm not trivializing what they went through. But for you to be sexual before you're 18 and then you're still having sex with him after you're 18, now you're a consenting adult. So at that point, you can't cry victim anymore. Cause how enforceable can he be if he's on tour and doing all this different stuff and like not even hardly there? What you think he probably do got goons, but to come out and search for, he can get any chick he want. Like, come on now, like just stop the madness. Oh, and Timbaland, Swiss Beats are suing Triller for $28 million over popular streaming verses. So, gotta get more details on the case, but there is a lot going on. In sports, NBA Hall of Famer Dennis Rodman says he's going out to Russia in order to help seek the release of Brittany Griner. Come on now, Dennis, get your life. Political. Who cares? Another dead cop. That is the topic about a firefighter who got fired for saying that. But I'm like, he was having a private conversation with someone, and they went and turned around and said, but what he said is that a lot of these cops, he was like, okay, a cop got killed, but what about those cops that just stood by and let them kids get shot up in that school? How can we really be, sad about a cop dying when all those kids died because cops didn't do what they were supposed to do? Now, I don't think he was saying that particular man. I think he got fired because it was a very sore situation that they was dealing with, and him saying that was crazy and out of line. But I mean, like, he didn't go publicly and say it. Like, he was saying it I won't say comfort, but he was saying it privately in a conversation, and someone leaked it or whatever. But that's another thing. Like, why is you leaking private conversations? Like, he said what he said. Why is it that people are getting fired over freedom of speech, but people not getting fired for killing innocent black people in their homes? Moving on. And on that note, Louisville, Kentucky sergeant fired after a federal indictment in Breonna Taylor case. Breonna Taylor was the young lady who got killed in her home. So someone was fired after those indictments. D.L. Hughley posted a video of a cop who seems to be making an arrest on the black man already in handcuffs, and then the officers allow the dog to attack the man while he's on the ground in handcuffs. The dog is literally like ripping his leg off, and the cops can't control the dog. All right. And then the family members are forced to watch him being attacked. Listen, Shirks in Myrtle Beach, y'all gotta watch out. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, they bite 2 local swimmers in the same day. The authorities tell residents to be on high alert. There are sharks in the water, y'all. So be careful when you're out there swimming. Let's see. Police arrest a Philadelphia man who tried to buy stolen human remains. What is in the air? What is going on in this world? Prosecutors say a 57-year-old man, New Jersey man, hired a hitman to kill a 13-year-old girl in Texas. He faces 10 years in prison and a $250K fine. He gonna pay that fine, and he gonna probably do like 30 minutes of his time in jail. All right. Mother speaks after her son was killed in a car crash on Broadway in Manchester and South Central LA. A New Orleans lady. Oh, this is a serious situation, y'all. I want y'all to really zoom in on this conversation. There was a lady in Texas who went to her car, and it was her birthday, and she was out celebrating with her husband. And when she got to her car, it was a napkin in the handle of her door, and she just took her nails and she removed the napkin, and then she took her fingertips and she opened the car door and got inside. After a while, she started to feel funny. Fingertips was tingling. Then after a while, her whole arm was tingling. Felt like it was on fire. She went to the doctors, and they said that it was not enough. She had acute poisoning, but it was so little in her system that she did not, it wasn't showing up what kind of poison it was. But related to that, it was a woman who was in, let me see, where was she at? She was in New Orleans, I believe. Yeah, New Orleans. She visited the zoo with her kids, and there was this guy following her. So she got her video camera, her phone, like, this guy has been following me and my children in the zoo since we came there, just been walking around following us and stuff like that. So she goes to the security guards at the zoo and asks, like, does that guy work here? Like, what? And they like, no, the guy doesn't work here. So now she's frightened, and justifiably so, because she has her children and everything like that. So what she does is she says, can a security guard walk with me and my children out to my car? Because she's like, she's ready to go. I'm ready to go. The dude following me around. I don't need to be in the zoo anymore. She goes to the car. There is napkin in the driver's side, tucked in the handle, and on the passenger side, tucked in the handle. So now she cannot go anywhere because she don't know where those napkins came from, and she had the presence of mind not to touch it. All right, I don't know if she saw the video of the lady that was in Texas or whatever, but Texas, New Orleans, like, there's no telling where these people are at. So be very mindful. If you go to your car and you see something untoward about your car, something on your car that was not there when you left your car, if you see a napkin in the handle of your car, if you see anything on your car, a zip tie on your car, you know, the zip tie, you know, get some scissors, remove it, don't leave it in your car, because that's giving a signal to sex traffickers that you are an easy target. Do not remove the napkin with your hand, because it has poison laced in the tissue that could possibly incapacitate you, knock you out, and make you an easy target for, make you easy prey for people who are looking to sex traffic and whatnot. Or, like, the poison can just kill you. We don't know. We don't have enough information about. And what she had to do was wait for them to come and get those napkins and do the appropriate tests on those napkins to know what was on those napkins. It's very serious, y'all. It's getting crazy. Pay attention to the signs. Don't be all willy-nilly in your phones. Don't be in your phones when you, like, be ever vigilant when you're out and about, especially if you're alone. All right, be vigilant. All right, I'm not saying be paranoid. I'm saying be vigilant. That's two different things. All right. But yeah, so keep an eye out at local news, because I'm in Philly and I gotta give y'all the local news. I will say there was a lot of crazy news in Philly, but I'm going to just give you two because I'm running on time. So one that really unnerved me there was a crash on Roosevelt Boulevard. What's up, Philly Czar? Thank you for joining Think Different TV. There was a crash on Roosevelt Boulevard where a young lady was killed. She was actually in the car. The driver, when the car flipped, he got out of the car. He pulled the young lady out, laid her on the grass on the median on Roosevelt Boulevard, and then he saw that she was dying. So he took and said, oh snaps, let me go and remove my license plate from off of the car. But when he couldn't remove it because he's like, okay, there's probably eyes on me, he just took off running. I don't know. I still don't know if they found the guy. I'm sure they are going to find him. I hope that the family knows who this guy is, because sometimes as women we start dating somebody, or we go on a date with somebody new, and we don't tell our friends just yet. What's up, Casey Corville? Thank you for joining Think Different TV. We don't tell our friends and family about the person, because we want to fill the person out, and everything like that. But I would say make it a practice to kind of like, if it's somebody new that you're dating, you don't gotta take them to the family and introduce them to the family, but at least let your family know, like, this is somebody that I'm dating right now. This is his name. This is his number. If you've been over his house, like, once you know it, it's public information. You get it's information that you know. So you tell your close family member, friend, somebody that if something happens to you, like, they'll have somebody else that they can question about your whereabouts. So just make that a practice, ladies. Like, and men too, because there's some women out here that are freaking crazy, out their minds, loco, and let people know, like, listen, this is somebody that I'm dating. Here's her number. Like, buddy system, okay? Just have a buddy system. And another one that unnerved me, teens stealing forklift from Home Depot. I can't say it enough, y'all. Get a rein on your children. I actually was on my way to church yesterday. I was gonna say on yesterday, because that's what they do in church. They be like on today, but yesterday I was on my way to church in the Uber, and the Uber driver was listening to the station, and they was talking about how teens are very violent, very angry. They're causing destruction in Philly and this and the third. And it's so sad, because I don't want to keep hearing it about our teenagers. Like, we need to do something about it. And the person was like, how can we really, teach them when they probably have adults in their lives that aren't doing right, so they're naturally not going to do right. But one guy was like, we need to stop being scared of our kids and scared of them saying, oh, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there, I'm going to tell this person, I'm going to tell this person about, you being unfair to me and you're not treating me like. I was taught that if I said, Mom, you getting on my nerves, she'd be like, what nerves you got? I own everything you have. I own the air you breathe. You get what I'm saying? What nerves you got? You get what I'm saying? As you get older, you be like, really, Mom, you said what nerves I got? But listen, don't be afraid. If you paying that phone bill that they're on that phone, you got the right to look through that phone. Privacy? What? Ain't no such thing. What? I watch a show called Never Have I Ever on Netflix, and the mom, she said, I don't care who in your room. She said, she walked in there, and the girl, her daughter, was in there with two guys, but the two guys is just like some nerds, and she just was working on a project with, right? One she has a rivalry with, but anyway. But her mom was like, we not closing no door in this home, and you got boys in your room. No, she's like, but the girl was like, but I don't even look at them as boys. No, open this door. And I dig the mom. Like, I know sometimes she can be a little overbearing on the show, but she make a lot of good points. And just being a mom myself, I'm like, listen, she make a lot of good points. So moving on. So that's what I had to say about that. Yo, get a rein on y'all kids, all right? New music releases. Nicki Minaj drops a snippet to the video for her new track, Super Freaky Girl. And Kodak Black drops his new EP, Closure, okay? Shout out to This Is RLLC and MDN BME out in Trenton. They had an event called Vibes and Verses. I was one of the performers there. I had a blast. It was Tone the Artist and Miss Jeree Moore who were the hosts of the event. It was a very, very unforgettable event. A lot of great artists came out to perform, and I can't wait to see what other Vibes and Verses, what other artists they have on the bill, the next Vibe and Verses, because it was an amazing event. I just wanted to shout them out real quick. And with that, we're going to go into our sponsors. Then we're going to jump into our hot topic. Like I said, Think Different TV is here every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it could not be made possible without viewers like you. And our sponsors. Our sponsors are Anointed Ads. Anointed Ads is an award-winning graphic design and website company. Over 14 years in the making, over 100 websites created, including his own www.anointedads.com. If you want to find Anointed Ads right here on IG or on Facebook, it's under Anointed Ads. That's ANOINTEDADS. Okay, he created the flyer for Think Different TV. He's also created flyers for me in the past for my financial business. He created the logo for my beautiful merch, that you can find at www.thinkdifferenttv.biz. Okay, and he's working on the website for Think Different TV as we speak. So when you are ready to get your flyer created for your business or your event, or a website created for your business, make sure you hit up Phil at 609-534-0237. Again, that's 609-534-0237. That is Anointed Ads. And our other sponsor is Euphoria Water. Euphoria Water is the cleanest, healthiest water in Philly. Alkaline water with minerals, no additives, no chemicals. It is good and good for you. Listen, if you're going to hydrate the right way. Get your Euphoria Water today. You can find Euphoria Water right here on IG at UPHORIAWATER. And if you live in the Philadelphia area and you want Euphoria Water delivered to your home, you can call Captain at 267-707-8279. That's 267-707-8279. And that is our sponsors. All right, y'all, let's get back to this. We're going to hop into the hot topic tonight, affectionately called Let Me Fly You Out. Let me give you an example. A man decides to fly a woman out, and when the woman gets there, they're having pleasantries and everything like that. Then what's up, Stina Jonay? What's up, Rick Stone? Thank you for joining Think Different TV. Next thing you know, he's driving her back to the airport, and the reason why is because she doesn't want to give it up. So how do y'all feel about that, y'all? If a man flies a woman out, should he have to give it up? And vice versa. If a woman flies a man out, should he have to give it up? How do y'all feel about this topic? Now, I was struggling with this a little bit, cause how I came across the video. I was on TikTok. I was surfing TikTok, and the video came up where the woman was arguing with the man in the car. They're on their way to the airport, back to the airport, and he's just like, she's like, you mad at me because I'm not going to sleep with you with this, that, and the third, and so you take me back to the airport? And he like, yeah, it does. And he was like, she's like, so you flew me out here to get some punani, all right? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. And then she was like, oh, so you think I'm supposed to just give it up, da 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 da? And then she's like, what, you can't get no punani just here? And he was like, but that ain't the point. Like, I flew you out. You walking around my hotel room in a bath towel, just titties all out and all this different stuff, and blase blip, giving me, mixed signals. and then you say you don't want to give up the cootie cat. You get what I'm saying? So my thing was, when she got flown out, you kind of know what the drill is. And is she obligated to? No. But like, and I'm gonna go to my other email, because I did send my what you call, let's see, I did send the responses to my so one was from Studio 3 Life. Shout out to Studio 3 Life. He said, this should be confirmed before tickets are bought. We're all adults. Let's have an adult convo prior. Either both parties agrees or they don't. Simple. And then we had Triborough Gigolo, who said, if a woman flies out to see a man, what do you think is going to happen? Heck yeah, she's giving up the kitty. So so I had another point of view from Vibe TV. We were discussing the topic that I was going to be doing today, and he simply said, listen, when a woman flies out to see a man, if she's getting flown out, her intentions is to do that. But if the guy does something stupid or unattractive while she's there, she has the right to change her mind and say, I'm not going to sleep with you, which is perfectly fine. There was not enough context clues to really determine what all transpired. But I will say this. Him making the video was very childish. Trying to blast her, you know, for not giving up the cootie cat and driving it back to the airport. I think it was very childish, and I think it was very foolish, and I think it was very feminine of him to do. You know, because, dude, like, that's not something you really want to put up on social media. Like, that's not going to make you look like a bigger man. It's going to make you look like a chump. Because, dude, you really had to outsource some punani. And, you know, I don't know how, I think there's a little bit of legalities involved with that, because anytime you flying somebody out for some punani, you know, that could be labeled as sex trafficking too. So you gotta be careful with that. You know, you like, we all know people get down like that. It's people out there that definitely, that's what they, yeah, JB, he was out there tricking, right? But then he got tricked, and then he was mad. So he was like, let's get you back to where you came from. I'm going to drop you off at the airport. But my thing is that I think I saw like another video where she said she didn't really bring no money out there or something like that. And I'm like, girl, no. If that was somewhere I really wanted to be, like, let's say I really wanted to go to Miami, and some dude was like, well, I'm going to fly you out to Miami, and maybe we can hang out and stuff like that. And I say, all right, cool. But I will always have my own cash on hand, just in case you start acting crazy. And then, why are we doing this anyway? Flying out to meet strangers. Why are we doing this? It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Because he could have been a mass murderer for all she knew. Could have been a mass murderer. And you flying out to see this guy and actually have a hotel room with him and everything like that. This got me thinking of this story that Young P said. She was on Sherm Activity, SMH. How you don't bring money out. Exactly. I think I saw a video of her, the same girl, saying I ain't bring no money out. And I'm like, how do you not bring any money with you? Because when he start acting crazy, be like, listen, I'm going to go get my own hotel because I was going to come out here anyway, but I came out here to chill with you, but you acting funny. So I'm going to go and get my own stuff. You get what I'm saying? And you ain't got to announce it. You just be out. You know? But I think it was some sucker stuff he did to have her on the camera and try to expose her or whatever. But there was no real context given as to what happened, what transpired, why she started feeling that way. You know, how did he approach her about the coup d'etat? Because listen, some guys gotta play it cool, all right? Like Vibe TV said, some women do come out with the intention like they want to do it too. And all men gotta do is not say something dumb to mess it up. All right? Don't say anything dumb to mess it up. If you're, and y'all gotta tell me what this Sherm stuff is, cause I really want to know what that means. JB said he had his feelings hurt on that move. Yes, definitely. And what we have to realize is that, like I said, women just don't want y'all to say anything dumb. Don't mess it up. And that's all about how he approached her about about getting some. If he was a little too forceful and he was a little too aggressive, I can get why she would retract. Like, yeah, I know you didn't think I was like to swerve and say, I know you don't think that I came out here to do that, but you did. But just be like, I would like to, but you're being too aggressive. You're doing too much right now. Like, just chill. You know what I'm saying? And don't do the bare minimum. Like, flying me out is one thing, but like we go out, you know, we gotta party a little bit. We gotta have some drinks. We gotta get some dinner. You know, don't just fly me out and then like we in the hotel the whole time. Like, and like Studio 3 Life said, this is something that gotta be discussed prior to the tickets being bought, prior to you coming out there. He said we had conversations, we was FaceTiming and everything like that. You knew what it was about. Oh, Sherman Hemsley? What? I gotta find out. But is there anybody that wants to share their thoughts on this topic? Why, you know, because the floor is open, y'all. Y'all can send in a request so y'all can share y'all thoughts on this topic, because I have my feelings about it, right? I'm like, she knew what time it was when he flew her out, but at the same time, he shouldn't do anything to kind of mess it up, because a woman could go out and say, I'm gonna give him some coup d'etat because he's flying me out, but then she get out there, start acting crazy, then she like, I ain't gonna give you no coup d'etat. So, but still carry your own money and everything like that, so he not giving you a ride back to the airport. What? He could have kept that ride. He could have kicked me out and I would have been like, I'm gonna catch an Uber to the airport. Or if I was staying, I would have been like, well, you done flew me out, but you acting crazy and everything like that, so I'm out, deuces. And I'll go get a hotel room somewhere else, and I will enjoy the rest of my stay in Miami or wherever we're at by myself and have a great time by myself, and then fly my happy behind back home once my vacation is over. Because if I'm crossing state lines, honey, I'm not just going. I don't like going across state lines or flying out somewhere and then like only staying there for like a day and then coming back. No, his feelings hurt. His feelings hurt, but I ain't gonna be hurt. All right. Young P said, I think she was capping about not having money. Some women do that. You think she was doing it to evoke sympathy from him, to be like, don't drop me off at the airport or whatever, or whatever. I don't know. What's up, Poetic Soul 9.8? Thank you for joining Think Different TV. But I have my thoughts about that. So how y'all feel about that? Anybody want to jump in? Send me a request. The floor is open. Trevo, I know you had something to say about it before. The floor is open, honey. Young P, you want to jump in, share your thoughts? You ain't got to be long. Just, send me a request. Let me know you want to jump in. Because I don't want to be the only one talking. I want to give the floor to y'all sometimes because I know y'all have interesting opinions and everything. And honestly, reading y'all comments and trying to say my comments at the same time is draining, honey. So y'all want to come here and say what y'all got to say and make y'all exit, y'all can do that. All right. The doors of Think Different TV is open. All right, JB. I'm going to bring you on in. Shout out to JB. JB been watching for a hot minute. And he also has a lot of great things to say on the topic. So what is up, JB? Thank you for joining Think Different TV. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well, thank you. Yeah, I think a lot of this stuff is just getting sloppy. Like, my personal opinion is a lot of this stuff should have been kept off the internet. Not everybody needs to know your movement. Not everybody needs to know your business, and to throw somebody's business out there up on the internet personally is sloppy. That's some messy ass stuff. But I mean, people thrive off drama.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah, people do anything for views on IG, it seems like right now, or on, get the views up on TikTok or whatever. So that's how I see that whole thing, that whole situation right there. But in all actuality, I don't know what happened in the DMs between the two prior to her flying out there, what was said, what was exchanged, what was, promised or not promised or anything like that. That's not my place. I wasn't there. So, I mean, but in all actuality, I mean, when it comes down to it, we really have to focus in on trying to keep our personal endeavors off of social media. It's not for everybody. It's really not. Because social media is not forgiving. I have noticed that. Social media is definitely not forgiving whatsoever. Everybody remembers everything that everybody has done said and done did. And one day, who knows? Old girl might find somebody that she was trying to fly out to and all this other stuff. It might be a different situation, but that situation might pop back up. Oh, look at this bitch doing this shit again.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with you, JB. I said it was some sucker shit. Oh, excuse my language. It was some sucker stuff for him to do. Because I'm trying to keep it clean on my end.
I know you do. I know you do. I'm sucker stuff
for him to turn around and to put it all on the internet like it was going to gain him sympathy. Like it was like, I just felt like it's an interesting topic to talk about because it's people doing that all the time. It's women that's getting flew out, whatever, and it's men that's getting flew out too.
Salute, Kelly.
And some people, they know the drill before they even make that trip. You're getting on the plane, you're sitting there with your peanuts and your water, and you're on your way to a totally different state to meet up with someone you never met before. And it's like, first of all, you're putting yourself in danger. And then, because you don't know this person, like really know this person. And then you get there and then you're shocked and surprised that this person wants to do it. But I'm like, I'm sure it's come because this dude didn't seem like the type that he would have been like, oh, you're my beautiful princess and I want you to come out here and spend some time with me. We can go out to eat and dinner. No, he was on some stuff like, if he's going to do some stuff like put you on the internet because he ain't getting none, I'm sure he done pulled out his thing a time or two during a video chat or sent you a couple of pics. So you knew what it was, honey. But then there was the other thing that Vibe TV said where he said, listen, maybe she did have all intentions of doing something with him. And then he said something stupid. And then she said, oh, no, maybe this is not what I want to do. And women are allowed to change their minds.
Yeah, and when you meet somebody in person versus meeting them virtually and stuff like this, your feelings, your thoughts about that individual could change drastically. I don't know. Maybe the dude didn't wash his ass fucking half the damn time. I'm pretty sure he did. But I'm just saying, it's something stopped that process from happening. But that should have been it. You shouldn't have fucking gone out there. oh boy did some hoe ass stuff. My personal feelings on this one. This is some feminine tendency type things. Like I see more women pulling out the camera going, oh look, they ain't gonna. I don't expect to see a real man actually doing that kind of stuff.
Yep. And so that's why I feel like he was on some Joe stuff, and she said, this is somebody I do not want to even be around. But then in that case, if you came out there and you legitimately wanted to be out there to vacation or do whatever, bring your own money. Bring your own money. Enjoy the rest of your vacation while you're out there alone if you have to. And just go back to or just say, you don't gotta drive me, I'm gonna catch an Uber. Because if he was acting like that in the car, I'm sure he was acting like that in a hotel before they got in the car. And I wouldn't even got in the car with someone who's like volatile like that. I would have been like, listen, I'm gonna just catch an Uber because you doing too much. But that's just me. Like if I start feeling something or vibe about somebody, I wouldn't even tell them I'm getting an Uber. I'd be like, listen, I'm gonna go get some ice. Why don't you go jump in the shower, get ready for me, and next thing you know, I would have been gone. Like I would be like, I'm gone. I'm packing up my bag. I am out. He would have came back. He would have saw all my stuff going. I would have already been in an Uber on the way to the airport, and he would have been calling me like, where you at? And I'd be like, don't worry about where I'm at. I'm going. So definitely like.
I appreciate you bringing them up. Thanks for having all these topics and stuff. And keep on doing what you do.
Always, JV. Thank you for stopping through to Think Different TV, getting all blah, blah, blah. But thank you so much.
It's always a pleasure. You guys have a go. Cheers.
You too. Listen, JV be in and out. He be like, I got things to do, honey. So you can talk all you want, but I gotta get. Young P, you keep putting a whole bunch of. Listen, I'm gonna read this comment, but. Next time you coming in, you said if she ain't had money, she better download Apple Pay and call family and friends to help her. Young P, you crazy. Like, I cannot. We have YBF on here. Thank you for joining Think Different TV. I appreciate you. We had Jackson the Box. What's up? Thank you for joining Think Different TV. JB said Cash App, yeah, or something. But yeah, like this topic got me a little bit because I was just like, wow, you know, this young lady is out here. What's up, Sam Bartlett? Thank you for joining Think Different TV. This really like got me a little bit because I was like, wow. This young lady, she went out there. She could have possibly just changed her mind and said she didn't want to do anything with him because he probably said something really out of the way and crazy. And she was like, oh, crap, like, what did I get myself into? And so she had to, like, back off of it, you know, which a woman can change her mind, okay? A woman can change her mind, and she does not have to do anything. But just be mindful, if you're asking these men to fly you out, have you go out here, be very clear on your intentions before you go anywhere, before you make that trip. I said it on the show before, be clear about your intentions, once again, in anything that you do, so there's no misunderstandings, all right? And the reason why you gotta be clear on those intentions is because people can get the wrong idea, and then you be in a situation where you're getting driven to the airport and a dude got you blasted all on social media because you didn't give up the cootie cat. What's up, Mr. DJ Daddy Flame? Thank you for joining Think Different TV. And on that note, y'all, we're going to jump into our sponsors. But once again, y'all are joining me here on Think Different TV. Y'all could be anywhere else, but y'all decided to be here with me on a Monday night. Think Different TV is every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's hosted by your girl, LaShia. I'm right here. I'm in your face. Blam, there I am, right? And like I said, y'all could be anywhere, but y'all here with me. So this show cannot be made possible without first viewers like you and our sponsors. So our sponsors are Anointed Ads. Anointed Ads is an award-winning graphic design and website company 14 years in the making, over 100 websites created, including his own www.anointedads.com. You can also find Anointed Ads right here on IG and on Facebook under Anointed Ads. That's ANOINTEDADS. This Anointed Ads. Phil, who is the CEO of Anointed Ads, is responsible for the flyer for Think Different TV. He has also created the logo for our beautiful merchandise, right? That you can find at www.thinkdifferenttv.biz. All right. And he is working on the website for Think Different TV as we speak. So when you are ready to get your flyer created for your business, for your event, when you're ready to get your website created for your business, or whatever you do, he is waiting for you. He's ready to work with you. So make sure you hit up Phil of Anointed Ads at 609-534-0237. Again, that's 609-534-0237. And then our other sponsor is Euphoria Water. Euphoria Water is the cleanest, healthiest water in Philly, alkaline with minerals, no additives, no chemicals. It is good and good for you. Listen, if you're going to hydrate the right way. Get your Euphoria Water today. You can find Euphoria Water right here on IG at UPHORIAWATER. And if you live in the Philadelphia area and you want Euphoria Water delivered straight to your home, just call Captain at 267-707-8279. That's 267-707-8279. And on that note, I'm going to take a sip of my Euphoria Water because we're about to get into a crazy independent artist spotlight. So let me take that sip. That was more than a sip. That was like a drink. What's up, Jimmy Cricket? Thank you for joining Think Different TV. So let me tell y'all, it was written. It was written. Independent film done right here in Philadelphia. How could I have a show and highlight artists and not highlight people right out of my city? Listen, I am so proud of this cast and crew. I'm so proud of the progress that they have been making with this film. The film can now be seen on TUBI TV. It's about a young man who witnesses the murder of his best friend, and then he is going to take revenge, but then instead he decides to learn to love and finds love through the music that they once had and that they did together. So here's my thoughts on it, right? Absolutely amazing. Amazing production. I'm telling you, the quality, all right, of this film. And the story was so compelling. The plot, I was on the edge of my seat. The acting was just phenomenal. And what's even more dope is that I knew almost everybody on the cast. I knew almost everybody on the cast. What's up, Logic613? And what's up, Stargy? Thank you for joining Think Different TV. I knew everybody, almost everybody on the cast. I was like, I know that person. It is so dope to like watch a film and then also know like where they're at. I know where that is, right? Because it was done in Philly. What's up, Derek Thomas? Thank you for joining Think Different TV. I was like so hyped the whole movie, but also it's a little bit of a tearjerker. Like I already read what it was about, like as far as the plot, right? But I didn't know how it was going to play out. And then when it all happened, I found myself getting all teary-eyed and welling with emotion. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so, it's so sad. But then it was like happy times, and it was sad times, and it was happy times. It was like a roller coaster, emotional roller coaster. But shout outs to the cast and crew. One is a Bobby Blanco film. It was written by Mr. Stackhouse TV, Richard Stackhouse of Mr. Stackhouse TV. It was also executive produced by Mr. Stackhouse TV. Also, Jed Pluto was also one of the writers on the film. Shout out to Alexandria, who I actually featured on Think Different TV a while back. All right, you can catch her episode as well, because she's an actress, singer, model, all of the above. You know, what doesn't this girl do? But her and Brandon Miles, phenomenal actor. Shout out to Solo Smith. Who else was in it? Brittany Drayton was in it. Oh my gosh, Wanda Greer. Who else was in there? I'm trying to go through. High Def was on there. C's from he's actually an engineer. He has his own studio up Fern Rock in Philly. Shout out to him. It was a lot of people in that film, yo. And it was so dope because I was like, I know almost everybody on the cast. So I was excited. And I'm even more excited because I don't want to keep this guy waiting any longer. I actually have the executive producer who has been tuning in, Mr. Stackhouse TV. So I was going to bring him in so he could talk about, you know, just the whole process and really, you know, let us know, like, how was it doing the film, working with the amazing people that he's worked with. What's up, Richard? How are you? Mr. Stackhouse TV himself. How are you tonight? Thank you so much for joining me on Think Different TV, because I really want to talk about this film that I saw, and it was so amazing. Like, I was so hyped the whole time. But how are you?
I'm really good. Well, first, I appreciate you inviting me on, having me onto your platform. It's been a great show so far. You did such a great intro that I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to discuss. So, and thank you for bringing me, sending me the invite to come on, because this is actually my first time ever going live on Instagram, so I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. So, I'm normally kind of behind the scenes and incognito. So, what's up, bro? And yeah, so I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. So I wanted to really talk about like the process, the amazing cast that you work with. Like I said, I knew almost everybody. And y'all, just to give y'all some context, like me and Rich, we know each other. Like he actually had a show out at Charlie B's, and he had me come out and perform at Charlie B's on this big stage, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And we was working together, and it actually through him that I was able to record the song As Long As at Caesar's studio. And also Brittany did my makeup for my photo shoot. And it was just a lot. We was working on a lot, right? So we go way back. And Lisa Alexandria, my little sis, like, you worked with her on her first album. And you also are working with Miss Kwani. I think Miss Kwani had a song on the movie as well. You know, I just saw a lot of people, and I saw you put in a lot. So let me shut up. I want you to tell people about, like, introduce yourself, tell them what you do, and tell them about the whole process.
All right. So as she said, my name is Mr. Stackhouse is what I go by. My name is Richard, but Richard Stackhouse. Mr. Stackhouse is the production company, Mr. Stackhouse TV. I've been kind of doing entertainment as an entrepreneur for some years now. Are you able to hear me good?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're perfect.
I'll make sure. For some years now, as LaShia was saying, we've worked together as well, like years ago. It's been a minute. When I was living in Philadelphia, have done like shows in Philly locally. So worked with different artists like LaShia, like some of the people in the film that you named, Alexandria. It's funny you said that because, yeah, like you said, you know everybody pretty much that's in the film. So I typically like working with people that I've already have like a rapport with, or have kind of worked together before. There were some new people in the film as well that I met during the process, but a lot of people is from, people that I've worked with or known for quite some time. but as far as on the entertainment side, music side, I used to do some writing, executive producing records and projects for artists. And then I kind of, when I moved to Atlanta some years ago, I transitioned more into like screenwriting and doing films, short films there, working on other people's projects. And so this particular film was my first full feature script that I wrote that was kind of based loosely off somebody's real life. So Zabri Banks, who's the other writer on it, the story is loosely based off real events that actually happened in his life. And that was my first opportunity where someone like kind of tasked me with being able to write something that was a little bit out of the box or out of the comfort zone for me. And so, yeah, I wrote this script probably like 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's been done for a while. So when I decided to try to get it produced, I just thought it would be good to get the first one because it was sentimental to go ahead and get that completed. So that's kind of how it initially came about.
Awesome. So when I say talk about the process, like, okay, it's a lot of people out there that they write screenplays, they write all the time, but going from in here to on TUBI TV, like take us through that process. Like what exactly was the steps that you had to go through? I'm sure you had your ups and downs. You was like, is this project even going to happen? You know, getting a stable cast. I know sometimes casting could be crazy too. You know, just walk us through the process. We got time, honey. This is about you, and I want you to just give us all the tea.
So I mean that part is such a long process. Yeah. So, like I said, the script itself has been written for quite some time. As far as producing it, so I executive produced it and financed it essentially, which I would suggest getting investors and stuff moving forward for other people. But sometimes you got to kind of do it from the muscle when you're first initially getting started with something. But what I did was I decided to reach out first, get a director attached to it. So as you already stated in the intro, Bobby Blanco is the director. Shout out to him. That's somebody else that I've known for a while. We actually went to high school together, but he does videography. He did a music video with me and a few other artists a few years back already as well. So I reached out to him about directing the project, and that's how he got attached and involved with that. From that point, as far as the casting, I mean, of course, we had to look for locations, and so we came and scouted locations once I had a budget together for the film. With casting, I kind of did a mixture of, as we said, the majority of the people in the film, probably like 90% of the people in the film is people I already know or have relationships with. But the other 10% we did do a casting call for. And some of those actors came out and like auditioned at the actual casting calls as far as getting the cast together. It was a process. So from there, once we actually had the cast, locations, it was a lot of work as far as usually on a crew. This is what you call a skeleton crew is what we had for the film. So a lot of times you'll have, for people that know how productions go, normally you have a director, you have a DP, you have an assistant director, you got like 5 PAs, you normally have like a lot of people on the film set. So on this particular film set, when I say it was a skeleton crew, it was literally my director and myself, and we had like a PA or two that was helping us, but we were like kind of doing everything. So from filming, I was also helping with sound. So it was like very like tight knit. Like we were just grinding it out. We filmed it over the course of. We filmed this in 2020, right and during the pandemic is when filming took place. So it was a process because obviously the film just recently came out, but we actually shot it in 2020. And so we had filmed it over the course of 10 days initially, 10 or 12 days. for the most part, everything kind of went smooth, but we did wind up having to come back and reshoot some of the scenes because, again, by trial and error. So, like on one of the scenes, on some of the performance shots, when we were at the performance venue, the initial time that we had to shoot those scenes, we didn't have enough people that came out for extras for the scene. So we had to like cheat the shot. Like if you notice, for people who haven't seen the film, it is on TUBI. But if you notice, like on some of the performance shots, we had to use like the backs of people back to make it look like it was like more people in the audience than it actually was. And we had to kind of cheat some of the shots because we didn't really have enough people to create a full audience. So we had to come back in October to redo some of those scenes again. So that was some of the things that were like trial and error. Just as far as having that knowledge to know to, go on different websites to cast for different people, even for backgrounds and for extras. So that was some of the struggles with it. Like I said, finances. You never just wanted to just be one person. If you got it like that, you could do that. But you want to try to have a team of people helping assist because there's so much stuff that got to get done. You got to be able to feed people, try to help get wardrobe, try to pay for locations. It's like a lot that happens. So you definitely want to try to put together a team if you can. Want to try to keep your locations down if you can. So I mean that was some of the struggles with getting it done, but it was we worked it out and got it done.
You know what? I was like, he kind of already had like a built-in makeup artist and hair person. Shout out to Brittany Drayton. Right. She's already like, she's built it, and y'all already had a baby. Y'all gonna use for the movie. I think that was her.
Oh yeah, exactly. So I'm glad you know some of those tidbits. That
was her son. But yes, yeah. I was like, wow. And he was so well behaved. I was like, look at him making eye contact. He already ready for the big screen, honey. Yeah. I was like, this. He like, I'm not new to this. I've been doing this. Exactly. His mom is a superstar, so it's only right that he be a superstar too. Mm. But also, I see that the chemistry between Brandon Miles and Alexandria, right. In those scenes were really intense, as well as the scenes with Brittany and Brandon. I was like, wow, I was really like, dang, but I was like, how hard was it to like for because I don't want to give too much of the movie away. But no, it's fine, like, how hard was it for her to like actually like for Brittany to put that emotion into it, just like
so the good thing is, like, to me, those were some of the like a lot of the scenes, and I mean, and I know even from being a performance artist and when you're on set doing stuff, a lot of times the real magic is when you are actually making it, because not all the time, are you able to really capture on footage where people wind up seeing all the stuff that was actually happening on set or all the stuff that was actually happening. So thankfully, like with the acting, Britt as well as Alex, they both had previous acting experience. They both have done like plays and stuff like that. So they're used to kind of getting into character and things like that. But as far as those particular scenes, it was a lot of takes and a lot of things we had to do. You know what I mean? Where it just looks so natural because they was locked in. They knew how to turn the acting on. So like even the scene when they're in the shower, it looks like they're not like
that threw me off. For real, I was like, oh, because I started watching it with my son there. I was like, he chilling. I'm gonna put this movie on real quick so I watch it. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, hold up now. Son, you gotta I don't know who was doing that in the movie, but it was I was like, wow, this is crazy. And at first I really didn't know. At first I thought that she was like someone that was connected to his friend that passed.
Got you.
But she showed up. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, wait a minute. No. No, because then I was like, that would have been some crazy stuff for him to be, with someone that he. So I was like, okay. I understand. But
Yeah.
everything came through so. I like the fact that everything came through crystal clear, and you could tell Steve, I don't have any Funyuns over here either.
Yes. And that was actually that was improv. So shout out to C's. We were using his location to shoot one of those scenes, but he wasn't originally going to be in the film. What happened was so that is some of the hiccups that come with the film. For the most part, everybody that was supposed to be there was there on time and everything. But of course, you have your little one-off situation. So actually, one of the actors that was supposed to be in that scene wasn't able to make it. So we didn't have an engineer at the last minute. So then, because we were already shooting at that location, I was just like, "See, can you do it?" He was like, "Oh, sure, I'll do it." So that wasn't originally part of the script. So that was kind of him coming off the cuff with just like, so the whole Funyuns thing and all that. That's really all. That was all. See, just being.
Because that threw me off. Because I'm all like, oh my gosh, all this stuff going on. And then when he said, I said, did he just say what I think he said? I had to rewind it and I had to put the captions. I'm like, did he just ask about some Funyuns? But yeah, definitely. Like, I love the film. I love the chemistry between everybody. I shout out to Zenobia. I saw Zenobia in there too. It was a lot of people in that movie.
Yeah, I shout out everybody. I feel like you got everybody, but it was. Let me just go off from the. So I don't forget.
The credit.
Yeah, Alexandria, High Def, Brandon Miles, Solo Smith, DJ Nas Alakai, Wanda Greer, Cease, we already said, Synovia, Troy, Brittany, Drayton.
Oh yeah, Troy was in it too.
Yeah,
Poetically Free, he was in it.
My man, Spank. Shout out to Spank. Damn, I feel bad because I'm not forgetting people. Hold on. Shout out to everybody that was a part of. What's my man's name? Man, I knew that was gonna happen. I should have had it written down.
Well, it's okay.
It'll come to me before it's over. It's on the tip of my tongue, but it'll come to me. I'll name the rest of the people.
Listen, charge it to his head, not his heart. He loved all of y'all that was part of the process. But you know, Mr. Stackhouse was a little older, so it's gonna be hard for him to remember a lot of things.
I really am.
But definitely, so another thing I want to ask, the process of getting it from, because I understand you had the grand opening of the film here in Philly, May 1st, and then you had the opening down in Atlanta, June 1st. Now, what happened? Like, what was the process to get it on TUBI TV? Was this always part of the plan, or was this something that just kind of like sprung up and you was like, heck yeah, we wanted to be on TUBI TV?
So that was something I was already working on. Well, I didn't know what platform it was gonna be on initially. Once it was first done, by the time we were having the premieres, I had already knew kind of what was that was already in the works. By the time I was actually having the premieres in Philly and in Atlanta, so shout out to Homestead Entertainment. That's the distributor that picked up the film. I had kind of been trying to reach out to different distribution companies, and while I was trying to get the project finished, like I said, we filmed it in 2020, so it was over the course of like a 2-year process trying to get everything done to get it finished. So I had been in talks with a couple of different distributors over the course of that time frame, and so once we actually had it completed, they were the distributors that kind of made the most sense for this particular project to work with and team up with, because they do a lot of like urban and black themed films, and it's also owned by Black people. So I just thought it would be that. I thought that was dope as well. And then also it's just a lot of good people working with them. So they've been around for a couple of years now. They're continuing to grow and do different deals. Like Dame Dash just did a deal with them, I believe, last year. So a lot of his original content is also coming out is in partnership with them, the same distribution company. So I was like, well, let me try to go with someone that's growing too, because hopefully, obviously, and like I said, this is the first project, my first feature film that I've done. So each one after this is going to continue to get better and stronger, God willing. But the higher budgets, the more people that is able to team up with. So I wanted to go with somebody that kind of know what they're doing, but they also is growing. So and so it just made sense. So that process wasn't as hard as trying to get the film completed. To be honest with you, you would have thought it would have been. Like,
so.
Yeah.
I mean, but when you have a good product, then everybody wants to, distribute it and get it out there for everyone to see. And what I will say is, watching the film, like I said, there was definitely some tear-jerking moments.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I also was a little bit more emotional than usual because I knew that this was in my hometown and I know that situations like this actually happen. So, like, it definitely was something that, struck a chord with me because I'm like, I'm in Philly and I see this on a regular basis. People get killed, people, and it's hard once you get into the game to get out sometimes. And not a lot of people are in your favor when you want to get out. They want you to stay around because they're like, you're the person that's making the money. And then if you get out, like it was a lot of commonsensical stuff about why they wouldn't want the person to get out of the game, but at the same time it's like, dag, and then this was stuff that. So my brain be like, I be thinking about other stuff too. Like, I'm like, is there going to be, let's just say I liked how it ended. All right. Because there were no unanswered questions.
Right.
And I also liked how the women were in the film. It wasn't any ratchetness. Let's just say that. Against each other. I like the fact that the anger was placed where it was supposed to be placed, because a lot of situations, like that, it would get turned where the women be against each other and not place the blame on the man. So I like the fact that the blame was placed where it was supposed to be placed.
Right.
And that they was cordial with each other. You get what I'm saying? Another thing is the very end, and I was just a mess at the end. So I was like, all right, that's enough. And then like the song started playing out and I was just like, okay. Like, I can't believe this joke got me like this right now. I was super emotional. But I will say, like, it was definitely a look into how dangerous the streets can be, regardless of what city you're in. It don't even have to be, you can put the same story in Chicago, you can put the same story in LA, any like, this story happens everywhere. It's just that it was so cold in Philly. And I also like that you used Philly as the place to do it, so you kind of got like a little free vacation. You're like, I'm back up in Philly, see my people, and like it wasn't really free, but you get to work on your project, do something you love to do, and you get to be back home.
Philly has the best time, so like
you said, got the best what?
Philly has the best talent. So even though like because I love living in Atlanta and everything. I mean, there's talent all over the place, but we're from Philly, so we just have like a certain kind of, it's just like a certain kind of rawness, a certain kind of just energy that's just like no matter what. So I think that's one of the reasons why I still always work with like people from Philly or people that I know, because we just got a certain type of energy that's just different. That is different in Philly. So
and the standard
Yeah.
It's and I'm not gonna lie, you set the bar high, dude. Like you
Thank
set
you.
the bar high.
I
You and
appreciate you saying
Bobby,
that because
y'all dangerous team. I'm ready to see something else come out of y'all. See what else y'all got up y'all sleeves.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that because I'm hard on myself. So for me, I still notice all the things that could have been better, and I focus on the positive, and but I'm always like, "Dang, this could have been executed. That could have." So so I appreciate that. I've been getting a lot of good feedback consistently, like from people that's kind of just enjoyed the story. So I do appreciate that because you want the audience to get the story and hopefully enjoy it, be entertained by it, but also it be something that hit their emotions in some kind of way. And I did try to purposely do that. Like even when I wrote the script, one of the things I tried to be very specific about is that I wanted it to try to come from more of an authentic place. So that's the reason why at the beginning of the film, it does start off with the basis of, as we were saying, him kind of trying to get out of a certain life. And that's kind of what is the catapult to get the story to go in the direction that it was. But I wanted to focus more on how people's lives are affected by the grief of someone losing their life to the streets or whatever. And then kind of how those people have to maneuver after that, as opposed to just having to be so focused on just like drugs and what's going on in the street. So that was kind of like the initial basis, but that's why I kind of morphed it more into like a love story, more into like how the mom is coping afterwards, how the close friend is coping after somebody transitions or whatever, because that's more honest to me. Because even though I'm from Philly, I grew up in North Philly, all over different parts of the city. I grew up in different hoods, but I've never been a part of the streets in that kind of way. So I didn't want to focus too much on that in the story because that's not authentic to me. So that's why I tried to take it. So I'm glad people were still able to get that get that out of there, the different stories from it.
Absolutely, and that authenticity is shown through. Because I'm a R&B artist, and I don't sing about popping mollies or anything because that's not part of my life. I talk about things that's relatable to me,
Right.
in the process, someone else may be may be able to relate to my music. So I do appreciate that it wasn't all about the streets and everything like that. Yeah, it had some scenes that were very real, and dealt with the street aspect. But I do love the fact that you took and you said this is going to be a love story. This is going to be about the coping after losing a loved one and everything like that. Because, you know, uh, in real life, people don't focus on it. Everybody focus on the get back, the revenge. Okay, such and such got shot up by this person, so we got to go get at this person, and then this person is going to their people's going to retaliate, and this and third, and it's a cycle. It's a cycle, and I like the fact that you had shout out to Wanda Greer, who played Aunt Gloria. She said, when is this cycle of violence? We don't want the cycle of violence to continue.
Right.
And it was a very real moment for Sean, played by Brandon Miles, to realize like he don't have to go out there and keep doing what he's trying to get back. You get what I'm saying? Get that get back. And that we should appreciate that we still have, air in our lungs and life. And instead, he chose to, honor his friend's memory by doing what his friend always was encouraging him to do, which was to actually pursue his music. Right. And I like that conversation because we always have that friend that even though we be so hard on ourselves, that always be like, "Nah, man, you great. Like, you're amazing. Like, you gotta keep going." Like, Trevo is that for me. Like, you're amazing. You gotta keep going. What are you talking about? Saying, stop talking to yourself like that. Don't talk to my best friend like that. Like, stop talking down on yourself. And I like that he was that person for him. you know, in the movie, and kind of like pushed him towards doing his music and everything like that. And even when he said, "Oh, this is probably corny," like, "No, man, that was dope. Like, you got here,"
Right.
and he
Believe
was
in yourself.
big up on them, letting other people listen to him. Like everyone needs a friend like that, you know. And I could get how why he wanted revenge, but at the same time, you know, shout out to Hope's character, who just and that's another thing. Was there something in the names? Like, was there something in the names when you was writing the screenplay? Was, because I'm real big on that. Like, I
Yeah.
took a theater class, so they always talk about like imagery, and you know, sometimes you might name somebody something in a movie because that's what their character is about.
Right.
So when you named her Hope, was there a reason why you named her Hope, and also Aunt Gloria, Glory, you know, all that stuff? Like, I don't know if y'all was thinking all deep into that, but I also was
No,
like
I'm glad you
noticing like the
noticed
different
that.
names.
I did. I was very specific with some of the names and how they should relate to some of the characters. You're the first person to ask about that, so I'm glad you caught that. But I was very specific with I'm very specific with a lot of stuff, but sometimes people don't really catch it. But just the correlation to the to the actors and kind of who's supposed to be their mentor or their inspiration transitioning through. So I was very specific about that. That was one of the reasons why I named it It Was Written, kind of like a play on you know, what it means in the Bible, that like some stuff we can't change. We could try you know, our hardest to you know, for certain things, but there's just certain stuff that's out of our hands, and we kind of just got to go with you know how life is unfolding. So I was very specific about that. Even you know, somebody else pointed out that they noticed that when I did the premieres, that all of the premieres were on the first. It was like we did May 1st in
Yeah.
Philly, June 1st in Atlanta, and then the film came out on July 1st. And I was like, well, you know, I do try to do things that's like specific in that way. So yeah, they did have like sentimental meanings.
Awesome. So, cause I was looking, I was like, you know, I'll be catching stuff like that, but I'll be like, maybe I'm thinking too much into it. I'm like, I don't know if they was really thinking about all that when they was naming the characters, but I figured I'd give it a shot and ask the question. And it just so happened I was on point. So hey, I was not too far off the mark. Let's talk about the soundtrack real quick. All right. So the soundtrack, shout out to Lisa Alexandria, High Def, Solo Smith, oh my gosh, Wanda Greer.
G is her artist name, and Nisha Lay and Quashawn. That's also one of the people I think I forgot to mention earlier. So Quashawn White was in the film too. He's also on the theme song, and DJ Nas produced the record, who also plays DJ Love in the film.
Okay. All right. So, can you name the songs? We know one of the songs is called "It Was Written." That's like
It Was Written. So It Was Written is just the. So I'll name some of the artists that we have music in the film. As far as the soundtrack, we just have the theme song out as the only song out from the actual that came out from the film. So I didn't put it like a full soundtrack out from the film. We have the theme song, and then all of the artists who has original music in the film. Hopefully I don't forget anybody, but we spoke earlier, Miss Kwani. Everybody check Miss Kwani out, follow her. That record that's in the film is it's called On the Way, and it's from her last album that she actually has out, that's out now, that people can check out. Synovia, the song, the title is escaping me right now, but the song that we have in the film that's from Synovia is also a record that's from her EP that's already out, that people can go check out. Check out Synovia. We have a record from High Def in the film. People can check that out. Artist 80 has music in the film, as well as Gino. Who else do we have music from? I have one of my old records in the film. And we have an original record. We haven't put out that full song yet, but there's an original record from Alexandria that's in the film as well. And I believe that's it. I hope I'm not missing anybody. But that's most of the artists that has original music in the film, and most of their music is already out on their actual individual projects, so people can go to their iTunes and stuff like that and check it out. And then the official theme song, It Was Written, that theme song and music video is out now as well, and available on all social on all streaming platforms. So. And that came about because I wrote the hook for the song, and then the idea to have so many people on the record kind of came about from the inspiration was from Kanye West, all of the Lights record, where he has 10 different artists on there, different people singing the hook and stuff like that. So because there were so many people in the film that I know that also does music, I just thought it would be dope to kind of have a lot of them be able to work on the record. So on each parts of the hook, you have a different singer on there. The first hook is Michelet. The second one is Alexandria. The third one is Wanji. Pushawn is the male voice on all of the hooks. And then you have the rap verses from B Miles, Solo, and High Def. And Nas produced the record. So I just thought it would be dope to have everybody work on the record that does music in the film.
Oh, that's awesome. So, what can we see in the future from Mr. Stackhouse TV films? Like, what are we going to see? We're going to see more projects in the future?
Yes, for sure. So I have right now. I'm kind of in the writing phase. I'm working on some more screenplays. I have a few that's already done. The next project that I'm working on is a film called Cold Feet, and it's kind of completely different from It Was Written, in the sense that it's more like a suspense thriller, and that one is about a bride to be who goes missing the night before her wedding day. So that one's a pretty good. I'm really excited about that script, and that one I'm actually making my directorial debut on, so I'm directing that film. So right now I'm just waiting. I'm just pushing this one and trying to make sure this one is successful and does well numbers wise. Once we kind of see where this one is and how it's doing, the goal is to hopefully get some additional investors and stuff like that for the next one. So my goal is to go into production for that hopefully by spring or summer of 2023. And so, yeah, once I get some additional investors locked in, I might do like some type of crowdfunding thing for that too, because a lot of people after this film has been asking how they could be a part of the next one. But I just want to make sure we kind of give this one this light and push right now. But yeah, I definitely have other scripts already finished. So Cold Feet most likely definitely be the next one that I'm in production for. Hopefully the top
Absolutely.
of the year.
Trevo actually asked, he said, how can I get a song placement in one of your films?
Good question. I mean, the process may change moving forward for the next ones. Like I said, with this one, because there were so many different artists that was already in the film, we kind of just utilize a lot of people's records that they already have. Moving forward, I probably will be doing like more original scores and like original full soundtracks. So I'll probably work with specific producers and things like that that's crafted all original records for the project. So I'll probably put, the best thing I could say is like follow my social medias. When I do start that process, I'll probably announce it, different ways that we can, if people want to submit stuff or potentially work with some of the producers we have. So I'll probably do it that way for the next one. So I'll probably just wind up announcing it, and then whatever organically works and we see what fits, we'll be able to work with people that way to get on the project. But I'm definitely always going to be looking to do original music for all of my projects to come, like original music for the whole soundtrack. For sure.
Absolutely. And can we see It Was Written coming to a stage?
I don't know about a stage. I would love to do a stage play at some point in the future, actually, but I don't know if this particular story. It's interesting because a lot of people that saw the film was asking if it was going to be a part two. I was never anticipating doing a part two to the film, to be honest with you. I kind of just felt like where we wrapped it up at, kind of, I like that it kind of, like you said, wrapped up the story that you saw in the film, but then people still are kind of like, oh, I would love to see where their journey goes. But to me, I feel like it would be better for people to kind of think of that in their head. I don't want to, sometimes stuff isn't as good when you keep trying to just prolong a story. So, depending on how well this one does, we'll see about a potential part two. But I don't think I would take this to the stage. I like it kind of in the film format that it is. So I'll probably leave this one where it is and just move forward with like other projects, to be honest.
It just humor me for a moment, because if you did decide to do a part two, I wouldn't want to pick up where they left off. I would want to take it back to how Sean and oh my gosh, how they met, like a prequel. Yeah. So listen, I'm just putting out there.
That's
I don't know.
Not a bad idea. I mean, I would probably have to use different actors because they're going to only be getting older as that go along. But that's actually an interesting concept to kind of see what led up to even that point. That's not a bad idea, actually. But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't gonna do that, but we'll see, because quite a bit of people have asked. So I don't know what the stats are yet. I probably won't know until closer to the end of the year, just because how films work. So if the film does well enough that it makes sense to do something else with it, then I'll probably revisit it. But for right now, I think I'm gonna leave it where it is.
I was saying, just humor me, because I wouldn't want to see where they go from there. I feel the same way. Like, you pretty much wrapped up. Hello. I was like, I felt like you pretty much wrapped up the story. So I was like, if you did do a part two, I would go back to, like, why was he in the streets? Why did he do what he did? I know part of the movie he referenced something about Little Caesars or something like that. I don't know, but just kind of like the prequel, that would be dope. So that's just my thoughts on it. I don't know if you're gonna take it or leave it or whatever. But if you do, and listen, we just lost Mr. Stackhouse. Probably lost a little bit of the connection, but listen, Mr. Stackhouse, when you get back on, definitely let me see if he's on here. Hold on, let me not, because we did lose him a little bit. We lost him, but I'm gonna send him another request and see if he can come back in. Here he is.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure what happened. We good?
Yeah, we're good now. But I was saying, like, take it. If you do, just make sure you give me a little bit of credit. Like, just say, just like.
Listen, if I do that, I'll for sure pull you in. Like, okay, you were a creative story on that. Yeah, because I didn't even think about anything like that. So if I do that, I got you. I'm like, look, we moving forward with this. I make sure we get your paperwork together.
Yes. Shout out to everybody that jumped on PW Nation, Beautiful Brit,
that's
the Real YouTube Movement TV, Jemison Roberts, Datwin, Owen Heim, 215RH404, Chad Anthony Music. Thank you for joining. K Smitty, He Love Ket, Ruley, Ryan, Skinless Vibe. It's definitely a vibe when you're on here on Think Different TV. So if you want to follow Mr. Stackhouse TV, y'all know what to do. Right up here, the Dropbox, Think Different TV. Just drop that down. He's on with me right now. Make sure you go ahead and follow him. He has more projects coming to you. I am so proud of everything that you have done, my brother. You have been moving and grooving since I've known you. Before I've known you, you are always a person that is just like keep going, keep going, keep going. What can I do now? What can I do now? What can I do now? And you went down to Atlanta. You started doing screenplays and all this stuff. Was like crazy. Like when I saw that you was the writer, I was like, he writing screenplays. What is going on? Because I know you was writing the music and everything, but I didn't know like how far that writing went. And I'm just saying, like, I'm proud of your success. I want you to keep on going. And do you have any advice for someone who is striving to do what you do or wants to be in any type of film or anything like that?
Well, firstly, I appreciate that. I appreciate you. Same to you. Like you said, we've known each other for a long time. It's this kind of weird, like full circle, because we haven't actually talked in like years.
Yeah.
But I see you've been continuously doing your thing and continuing to perform, and like you're doing this now and Think Different TV as well. So I'm proud of you as well. And I'm sorry, what was the question? Do you have inspiration?
Yeah.
No, for me, I think the thing is just keep going. Kind of just like what you were saying. I think every creative have the same. We all kind of go through the same things. You go through those time frames where you have like, because like I've done shows before. We kind of go through ebbs and flows. I feel like when you're a creative, it's not just one thing that you do. You create in like a multitude of different ways. You can do a lot of different things and pivot. And so even back years ago, I used to do shows in Philly. I remember having some shows where it was like 15 people there that might have a show where it's 100 people there. Like you have, like, you never know what's going to stick or what people are going to connect with. So don't give up, especially when you feel like stuff isn't going right or going the way that you think that it should go. Sometimes you just got to pivot. Sometimes that might not have been the right time. It might not have been the right energy. It just could have been a lot of different things. You might have to, just mature a little bit more. And sometimes you got to go through certain experiences that help you be stronger so that when certain things present themselves to you moving forward, you're able to receive it, or you're able to really be able to do what you need to do in alignment with it. So I don't really have anything specific for people. I would just say if you're a creator, keep creating, keep collaborating with people. Creating, collaborating with people, and that's probably the best thing I could say. I stay open-minded. I'm not, and you can't be afraid of change is the biggest thing. So the
only thing constant is change, honey.
Yeah, the only thing constant is change. You can't be afraid of change, because sometimes that's where you grow the most. I feel like I always would be my most creative or push myself the most every time I would go into something else that was outside of my comfort zone. So like I said, this first script that I wrote, this film that came out now, I did this when I first moved to Atlanta from Philadelphia for like that first 6 months, and then, another project, the script that I'm talking about that I'm working on next, I did that one when I went to, I moved to LA for a year, didn't really like living here, so I went back to Atlanta, but I lived in LA for a year. But during that time is when I wrote this script that I'm going to be producing next, when I'm going to direct. So I feel like I've always would push myself the most when I step outside of my comfort zone. So that's probably the best advice I could give people.
Thank you so much. Listen, guys, check out Mr. Stackhouse TV. Also follow Bobby Blanco 215 right here on IG. Make sure you check out It Was Written Film right here on IG. Check out the actors that have been part of the process. Shout out to Sensual Siren. Shout out to Sensual Siren _, and Brandon Miles. I know that's not his whole IG. I'll put all of that in the description. But definitely check out It Was Written on TUBI TV. It is there. It was written, and it shall be done. Check it out. And definitely leave some reviews. Leave the 5 stars, 5 stars,
Yeah,
5
yeah,
stars, 5 stars. Get it up there. Cause you know when things do really well on a certain platform, it starts to get recommended to be watched. So
yeah.
let's get it up there. Let's get them views up there. Okay. All right. So I thank you so much, Mr. Stackhouse TV, for joining me tonight on Think Different TV. I appreciate you. Please do not be a stranger. Come through, watch the show, sit,
Sure.
sit in the peanut gallery, jump on, share your views on some of these topics, because some of these topics be crazy. I don't know where I be coming from, where they be coming from, honey. But definitely, if you got any opinion on anything, just let me know that you want to come in and voice your opinion. And don't be afraid, because ain't nobody going to bite you. All right?
All right. Thank you again for having me. I do appreciate it. Again, this is my first time ever going live, so I thought I was going to be nervous, but it was pretty good. So, thank you again, everybody. Check out Think Different TV every Monday. Follow LaShia and what she has going on as well. And again, thank you for having me on. So, y'all have a great rest of your night.
Thank you.
All right,
So,
peace.
guys.
Bye.
So guys, how dope was that? Listen, we had Mr. Stackhouse TV from IG on here talk about It Was Written, the film. You need to go out there, watch it. It's on TUBI TV. That's TUBI TV. All you gotta do is type in It Was Written. It'll pop right on up. Watch that movie. Let me know what you think of it. Go on It Was Written film right here on IG. Let them know how you like the film. And as always, it was a pleasure speaking with my independent artist spotlight. We got to know the ins and outs, the ebbs and flows of creating a film, how important it is to lay down the locations, get the cast together, how important funding is for a film, right? Because that's a big project, and then you get people to invest in it, and then you're able to do so many things with that money to make sure that the process goes smoother. Shout out to Homestead Entertainment, the distribution company that he is working with, that got It Was Written on Tubi TV, right? So it was a lot. It was a lot that we learned tonight, and I hope y'all enjoyed it as much as I did. I'm just gushing over here because I'm just like, I can't believe that. First of all, he had the time to sit down with me with all the projects he got to work on, and that I know almost everybody on the cast. So shout out to the cast. And when you need, another actress, I'm ready for my close-up. Okay. So this is Think Different TV. Think Different TV is here every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, hosted by your girl LaShia, right? And Think Different TV could not be made possible without viewers like you and our sponsors. So let's shout out our sponsors before we jump into this financial tip for tonight. So our sponsors are Anointed Ads. Anointed Ads is an award-winning graphic design and website company, over 14 years in the making, over 100 websites created, including his own www.anointedads.com. You can also find Anointed Ads right here on IG, and you can find them on Facebook under Anointed Ads. That's ANOINTEDADS. All right. Phil of Anointed Ads has created the flyer for Think Different TV, as well as the logo for our beautiful merch that can be found at www.thinkdifferenttv.biz. All right. And he's also creating the website for Think Different TV as we speak. So when you're ready to get your flyer created for your business, for your event, or get your website created for your business, hit up Phil at 609-534-0237. Again, that's 609-534-0237. And listen, it doesn't matter where you're at in the U.S. He's got you, because everything can be done digitally, okay? So meetings can be done through Zoom. So don't say, oh, I got to live in Jersey to work with him, or I got to live in Philly to work with him. Listen, you could be all the way in South Carolina and hit him up and get things done. So Shout out to Phil from Anointed Ads. Again, his number is 609-534-0237. And when you mention Think Different TV, he's going to take 15% off of your first project. Okay? And that's one of our sponsors. Our other sponsor is Euphoria Water. Euphoria Water is the cleanest, healthiest water in Philly. Alkaline water with minerals, no additives, no chemicals. It is good and good for you. So when you're ready to hydrate, make sure you hydrate the right way. Get your Euphoria Water today. You can find Euphoria Water right here on IG under Euphoria Water. That's UPHORIAWATER. That's UPHORIAWATER. All right. And and listen, if you live in the Philadelphia area and you want Euphoria Water delivered straight to your home, listen. Call Captain at 267-707-8279. That's 267-707-8279. And he will be there. Captain will be there to deliver the water straight to you. And that is Euphoria Water. And that is our sponsors. All right. Listen, y'all. Financial tip for the night. Because I said a whole lot, honey, in that time. Let me pour me some more water. Euphoria water, that is. It's so cold. I had it in the freezer, honey. Y'all, like, this water is so good, okay? But here we go. So last week I did free financial games for financial literacy for elementary school students. This week I'm doing online financial games for preteens and teenagers. So, you know, I'm not gonna lie, it might hit better with the teenagers, the preteens and teenagers, because they're already doing Fortnite and Roblox and all this different stuff online. So why not teach them a way that they understand, right? So a lot of kids are into video games. They're into playing games online. So let's explore. So this is for middle to high school age students, grades 6 to 12. All right. One is called Financial Football. It's an interactive football game that requires players to answer personal finance questions. Lesson plans and other materials by grade level, also from Visa. So Visa is sponsoring the game. What does this mean? So you answer questions about personal finance, not your personal finances, but personal finance, like budgeting and what does bankruptcy mean, and what does all of these different things. And what you do is you win the interactive football game based on how much you know about these topics. They also have a financial soccer game. It's the same type of concept. All right. So it really is how you are with football, American football versus, football and American football. So they have a game for both. Most likely my son will probably be into the soccer one when he gets older, because his dad really likes soccer. So my son watch a lot of soccer. We do watch football too. Go Eagles. And I don't care. It's my show. I'm going to shout out my home team. Go Eagles. All right. But yeah, definitely. Check those games out. They also have financial entertainment. Financial entertainment is a library of free online and mobile games designed and developed by the Commonwealth that aim to improve personal financial capability, knowledge, and self-confidence. So check out financial entertainment. These are a variety of different online games, but this is just the website that you can go to, financial entertainment. And what they do is they have a lot of online games that you could play that relate to financial literacy. And what it means by helping you gain self-confidence, because a lot of people, when they don't know a lot about finances, they make some crazy decisions, and they're not confident in their decisions that they make because they don't have the knowledge that they need to know about that specific topic. So this will help in that aspect, and it does it on a preteen to teenager level. So that's amazing. Then they got the Gen 1 Revolution online personal finance game. It's developed for middle school and high school students, and this online game gives your students the chance to learn important personal finance skills as they play and compete against fellow classmates. So you're not only learning about terms related to personal finance, but what you can also do is put those skills to use, because they always say knowledge is power, but actually I personally feel that the application of knowledge is power. Learning how to apply the knowledge in your everyday life. So it's one thing to know the terms and know how to budget and know how to do all these things in the financial realm, but to actually put it to use is a whole different monster. So what it does is you learn personal finance skills and you compete against fellow classmates in that realm. And I like a good competition. I like going against people, answering any questions. I like playing Jeopardy. I like those type of things where you're interacting with other people and going back and forth and competing and stuff like that. And I hate to lose when it comes to trivia. So I'm real big on it. So that would be right up my alley if I was a preteen or teenager, right? Then they got Cheer the Fed game. This is Cheer, CHAIR, the Fed game. Learn how monetary policy works by taking charge of a simulated economy. Now, these are the games I used to love to play when I was in middle school, right? We had games like Dino Park Tycoon and Oregon Trail and Yukon Trail, and where you was given money, a set amount of money. You had to create a realm. Sim City is really big on that as well. But this particular one, it's like you get a simulated economy, and you have to like keep it up and make financial decisions that will help grow this economy. Yo, I'll be so into this game, yo. So Cheer the Fed game, definitely check that out. What's up, Scooplo? Thank you for joining Think Different TV. Then you have Planet Prom app. So to help combat the high cost of prom, Visa's free app help teens and parents budget for every prom-related expense. So I think this is kind of cool, because I don't know about y'all, but proms cost a lot of money. I mean, some people paying as much for proms that they do for weddings. And what this does is it helps you combat the high cost of prom. So it helps them budget for every prom related expense, be it, the dress, hair, shoes, if you're a girl, dress, hair, shoes, makeup, nails, your ride there, for the guys, the flowers, their tux, their haircut, their shoes. I think that's pretty much it. Maybe the tickets for the prom, maybe, but I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. Y'all know how much I paid for the prom? Okay, to get my hair did, it was like $100. To get my dress, it was $80. My shoes was $20. I got a ride to prom. My senior prom. Who did I ride with? I think my dad didn't drive. My dad drove me to my junior prom. I think my dad's friend, Mr. Fred, drove me to my senior prom. So yeah, like it was a lot of money saved. The most I paid, and I ended up doing my own makeup. But back then, that wasn't nothing but doing some. It ain't the process that I go through now, honey. To look natural, it takes it's a process, all right. To look like this is my face, this is a process, right? But back then, like you threw a little bit of powder on your face, you fill in your brows just a little bit, put a little blue. I had a blue dress on, I put a little blue stuff over my eye, and that was it, honey. Maybe a little lip gloss. I ain't do much, because like the prom was like something I went to, but I really didn't like say, oh, I gotta get so done up. I gotta get a dress made from scratch. I didn't do all that. For my junior prom, you know how much I paid for my prom dress? I paid $18 for my prom dress. Okay. I paid $18, and my friend Floribel's mom made the sash that came across me, and then my hair, I had my natural hair out, and I just flipped it up, and that was my prom, and I did put a little something on my face. But yeah, I didn't do much to get ready for prom. But nowadays, like I said, everybody want to be, stunting like they walking the red carpet or they about to get married. Like the money they be paying a dress, they be paying like $500, $600 for a dress that they only want to probably wear one time for the prom. Y'all crazy, and these parents doing it. They doing it. They going the extra mile. They're like, I'm gonna rent a limo. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And I'll be like, y'all need to do all that. Y'all just like I think sometimes parents live vicariously through their children, and they like, I wish my prom was dope like this. I wish I could stunt like this on my prom, so I'm gonna do it for my child. And I'll be like, y'all doing too much. Y'all doing way too much. But yeah, this helps. That's a game. I kind of went on a rant a little bit, but let's get back into it. And then the very last game is the stock market game. The stock market game is the right tool for you to help your students build a fundamental understanding of investing while providing them with real-world skills practice in math, English language arts, economics, social studies, and other subjects. So I think that's dope because a lot of people, we always talk about this. It's not about how much money you make, it's how much you save. So real quick, I'm gonna read Scoop Low's comment, then I'm gonna get into what I was about to say. He said, went to a few proms, and I know my senior prom cost about $950 in 2004. Granted, I had 2 proms that week, so the suits had to be tailored up. Yeah, $950, that's a lot of money. In 2004, that was definitely a lot of money. Like, I wish I hadn't died $150, but you know what? $200, it got me everything that I needed for my prom. And when I went to somebody else's prom like a few years later, and I was still skinny enough to fit into the dress that I wore for my senior prom. So I just wore the same dress. Yes. I was going to a different school anyway. None of them saw me in that dress before. It was cool. It was Gucci. Cause I was like, I spent $80 on this dress, and I was gonna get my money's worth out of it, honey. So I wore my junior prom dress twice, and I wore my junior prom dress twice, and I wore my senior prom dress twice, and I was perfectly fine with it. I was like, I am not about to kill myself, spend all this money from some daggone proms. Okay. But he was like, the guy, he said he wanted to go to his prom, he wanted me to go with him. I said, all right, cool. He was like, I said, well, I already have a dress. And I said, it's baby blue. And he was like, all right, bet. And so he went and got a little lapel, whatever, that was blue. And we just rocked out. Shoot, we had fun anyway. Like that wasn't, the prom wasn't about stunting on anybody at that time. It was about just genuinely having fun. And that's what we did. So, but back to what I was saying about, it's not about how much money you make, it's how much you save. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you can be a successful member in society, because a lot of people like to go and spend instead of saving their money. And no, we're not going to just save just some random amount or whatever. You have to be intentional about your saving, and you have to know what you're saving for. And some people say, well, I'm saving for my future. I'm saving for my future. Well, like I told you on previous episodes, there's something called financial needs analysis that you can have done by a financial coach. They can sit down and they can do a financial needs analysis with you. And then you would learn your financial independence number, which is the amount of money you would need to retire or live out the rest of your days without, working for someone. You can fire your boss, and it includes inflation. You have the dollar amount. Now you have a goal that you're saving towards. And when you have knowledge of how to invest money that you're saving into a mutual fund or into the stock market or whatever you choose to invest your money in so it can grow, you can get to that goal a lot quicker. So I think it's dope that they have these games ready and available. They're free online financial literacy games for teenagers, preteens from 6th to 12th grade. Just to go through them again: financial football, financial soccer, financial entertainment, all right, Gen 1 Revolution online personal finance game, all right, Cheer the Fed game, Planet Prime app, all right. So for those of you who are starting a year and you have a senior in high school, this may be the app for you, all right. So it's called Planet, like Plan IT. So Plan IT Prime app. And then you have the stock market game, all right. So that is my financial tip for you guys tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show. I definitely enjoyed the show. I enjoyed myself. I love the fact that I'm able to hang out with you guys every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on IG Live. Again, my name is LaShia. For all you new people that joined me tonight, thank you so much for joining me on Think Different TV. All my, my day ones, thank you for joining me on Think Different TV. Listen, we have so much that we can look back on and be like, wow, right? Because this was the 34th episode of Think Different TV, right? And next week will be the 35th episode of Think Different TV. And just to let you guys know, we have the independent artist panel next week. We have another topic coming for you, and we'll have another financial tip waiting for you next week on Think Different TV. But y'all know how I like to do this. I like to close it out by saying, once again, Think Different TV every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on IG Live under LaShia Star. Make sure you follow me so you can get the updates about the show. And, Think Different TV would not be made possible without viewers like you and our sponsors. So before we even jump into our sponsors, let me just pull something up really quickly, guys, because y'all know I am really, really, really bad at this. Because my YouTube, it be so much that I be watching. My son be watching. So sometimes it's hard for me to find what I want to play. But I'm going to find it. You want to know why? Because I'm thebomb.com and I'm going to find it. But like I said, Think Different TV would not be made possible without viewers like you and our sponsors. One of our sponsors is Anointed Ads. Anointed Ads is an award-winning graphic design and website company. Over 100 websites created, 14 years in the making, all right? And one of the websites that was created was www.anointedads.com, all right? Make sure he created a website for himself, of course. You also find Anointed Ads right here on IG and on Facebook under Anointed Ads. That's ANOINTEDADS. Again, that's ANOINTEDADS, all right? He is responsible for the flyer for Think Different TV, as well as the logo for our incredible merch that you can find at www.thinkdifferenttv.biz. Okay? And he's also working on a website for Think Different TV as we speak. So when you're ready to get your flyer created for your business, or for your event, or you're ready to get your website created for your business, hit up Phil of Anointed Ads at 609-534-0237. Again, that's 609-534-0237. He's ready to work with you. And listen, when you mention Think Different TV, he's going to take 15% off of your first project. And that's always good, right? It's always good to save a little money and also support a business, a small business that's up and coming, right? So make sure you go ahead and hit up Phil at 609-534-0237 and mention Think Different TV to get that 15% off of your first project. And then our other sponsor, day one sponsor, is Euphoria Water. Euphoria Water is the cleanest, healthiest water in Philly. Alkaline water with minerals, no additives, no chemicals. It is good and good for you, okay? If you're going to hydrate the right way, get your Euphoria Water today. And you can follow Euphoria Water right here on IG at UPHORIA WATER. Again, that's UPHORIA WATER. And if you live in the Philadelphia area and you want Euphoria Water delivered straight to your home, you can hit up Captain at 267-707-8279. Again, his number is 267-707-8279. And Euphoria Water is so dope because guess what? They have their own promo song, okay? Their own promo song, all to them, all right? And I'm actually going to play it out for y'all as soon as I pull it up. So give me a minute. I'm going to pull it right up. And then we're going to play it out. But I want to, again, thank you for tuning in to Think Different TV. We had a crazy hit it and quit it section, a lot of trending topics that have been happening. We also had an amazing hot topic that we talked about tonight. You know, women getting flown out. You know, should the men that fly them out, should they expect to get laid? Right? Things to make you say, And our independent artist spotlight was on the amazing Mr. Stackhouse TV, Richard Stackhouse, the executive producer and writer of the film It Was Written, that you can find on TUBI TV, all right, with the amazing actors and actors, cast and crew. They did their thing. Shout out to Bobby Blanco. Shout out to Lisa Alexandria. Shout out to Brandon Miles. Shout out to Brittany Drayton Adams. Shout out to Wanji. This is Wanda Greer. Shout out to High Def. Shout out to C's from the studio up or Fern Rock. Shout out to, oh my gosh, there was so many people in that movie. Shout out to DJ Nas, who is also DJ Love in the movie. Shout out to Solo Smith, who is also in the movie. Baby Adams, who's in the movie, made his debut, all right, on the big screen. How dope is that, right? Have your son already a star in the movie? And like I said, it's found on TUBI TV, and y'all gotta go and check it out. It was an amazing movie. It is about a man who witnesses the murder of his best friend and learns to find love through the music that connected them. So definitely shout out to the cast and crew. Shout out to Homestead Entertainment, who is the distributor that got the movie on TUBI TV. And you know, I see some amazing things happening. Mr. Stackhouse said he's working on another screenplay right now to be released. So keep your eyes out for that. Make sure you go ahead and follow him at Mr. Stackhouse TV. That's MrStackhouse TV. So make sure y'all go ahead and check that out. I'm going to pull up this Euphoria Water promo song, and we're going to end this show on a high note, y'all, because that's what we do right here on Think Different TV. And here it is, and let's get it. Let's get it, honey. What's up, Storybook Poet? Thank you for joining Think Different TV.
If you got a job, put it in the air. Yeah, just like that comes out of it. And if you don't, I want you to go over there and get a sip of that medicine. The only thing that quench my thirst is in my brain. The only thing that's in my purse or in my hand. You just gotta see the air. You know what? You can guarantee. Big flow, and we got it not tight. I'm feeling what you know, so elevating height. I'm feeling what you know, so elevating height. When you sit in your bed to the bed, I guarantee you feel much better. This for the nation, I'm looking at it. The way they hit me, they feel like I'm tripping. I've been putting on for the thing, yeah. You said you can rock from all the yeah.
Shout out to Medusa Phil 215.
If you're
Bye.